this is Becca, your yoga teacher and friend from BeccaYogaUK. Thanks for joining me today. This is the first of a 4-part mini-series that's going to be focusing on how to release any tension or pain that you might be feeling in your back. So it's going to be split into kind of 4 parts, half and half. First half, this one, focusing on lower back, how to just release and ease any tension or strain that you feel there. Second one will be upper back, same thing. And then third and fourth one are going to be lower and upper back strengthening. So that might be back strength, but also a bit of kind of front body core strength to actually just prevent you from getting that pain back. And the reason I'm doing this is a few of you have reached out and said how just the change of environment at the moment, you're working in a different location than you normally would. You might be spending more time sedentary sitting down, and that just gets kind of niggles going in the back and the body that you might not normally be used to feeling. So we're just trying to target that, get you moving, and give you some tips. So always feel free to repeat this class again a couple times so that you start to recognize the movements, the feelings, where you want to get that release. Perhaps starting with one of the more relaxing ones first. Then when things start to feel a bit better, less pain in the back, try the strengthening ones. Once you've recovered from the strengthening ones, try a relaxing one again, and then just slowly over time you'll start to notice those benefits. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you on your mat. For this session, the equipment that you'll need, your yoga mat or towel, anything that is kind of roughly the mat shape. And then a prop that is a support. So your options, I've got them all out here, could be blocks like these, maybe 2. If you don't have yoga blocks, I'm not expecting everyone to have them, you could always use a couple of books, a stack of books, and then just lay a blanket over the top of them so they're not quite so hard. And if you don't have blocks, it's going to be a supported pose, so if these do end up being too hard, you can just revert to a pillow that you can roll a little bit, or a rolled up blanket. You can choose kind of the size. Roll that blanket up and just make it nice and comfy. That will come in partway through. I'll probably demonstrate with the blocks, but know that you can have either of the other 2 options if you don't have the blocks, so don't worry about that. So as we're dealing with low back, I just want to say an extra reminder to be just really careful anytime you come into a pose. Know that you can always ease out of it or subtly vary it. Instead of using the blocks, cushions, bolsters, blankets are always a little bit more comfy if you're just not quite feeling comfortable enough on your props. But we're going to start lying down. So come onto your back. You can send the feet almost as wide as your mat, and then lower yourself all the way down onto your back so that your knees can then just fall in towards each other. Let your chin tuck down into your chest. Let your arms come down by your sides. And then start to switch on your breath. So just taking some slow, deep inhales, breathing past your chest and ribs into the belly. So that presses your back down. And then exhale slowly back out. You'll feel the air just drift out through your nose or mouth. So taking a breath in, making that special effort to push that mid-back down, the part that normally lifts off. And exhale, sigh out, soften. You might even feel a subtle tilt of the pelvis as you do this. So as you breathe in, belly draws down, presses the low back down. And exhale, the front of the hips just tilt forward as you soften and release. So just notice those sensations, that slight rock, as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And we're here on the ground just to give your spine a chance to lengthen out a little, to get rid of those subtle curves in the spine by bringing you onto your back, pressing all parts of the spine down. So again, just to decompress a little here. So just enjoy a couple more breaths. I'll leave you just in stillness, in silence with your breath. And then your next inhale, start to reach your hands over your body. Interlace the fingers, turn your palms up and then reach them all the way back behind you. So you're taking a bit of a full body stretch or half body stretch here. So you're feeling the top half of the chest lift up. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down and bring both knees in. Wrap your hands around the top of the knees. You can take a slight rock here, side to side. Just gently pressing your spine down. And then maybe take some circles. So you can send the knees down one side and bring them back up the other. Clockwise, anti-clockwise, maybe a rock in between. And then hands on top of the knees, take the knees wide, start to circle the knees. So giving your belly a bit of space. And why not bring some movement into your feet as well. As you circle the knees, circle the ankles, wiggle the toes. If you've gone one way, switch it up, take it the other way. And then from here, we're going to come to a tabletop position. So if rocking, rolling is in your practice, hands under the knees. And take a rock back and forwards until you can come to seated. Or if the back's just not feeling that, you can just send yourself off to one side. Push into that hand that finds the ground. And then come into your tabletop. So both hands out in front. Palms under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we're going to really slowly and subtly move through this. So you probably spend a lot of time in this kind of cat position, around it. So we're going to focus more on the cow position where your belly concaves down to the mat. So for now, long spine. And then breathe in, start to lift your tailbone, lift your chest, look forward, so sort of 50% here. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, drop the head, but round the upper back to the ceiling. So you're not trying to curve too much in the low back. Inhale, start to bend the elbows a little. That lets the chest dip down. Tailbone can then lift, and then you push into the hands. Come to roughly 70% here. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, drop your head, come back to 50, so push just the hands away. Bend the elbows, let the tailbone start to tilt as belly dips, then start to look up, push into the palms. Exhale, tuck tailbone, drop the head, bring the core in, scoop the belly up. Take one more, bend the elbows, let the belly dip, chest dips, tailbone lifts, and then you push into the hands. Find that space here. Take an extra wrap of the shoulders down. And then from here, tuck the toes, send your hips back to your heels. Let both hands slide out in front. Just pause with forehead on the mat. So enjoy again this length we found. A little stretch for the base of the feet. On your inhale, come back to your tabletop position. Let the hands slide back so they come underneath the shoulders. You can release the toes. We're going to take a twist. So push into that left hand. Reach the right arm up and open to the ceiling so your chest opens. Thread the needle. Exhale. Bring that right hand down. Send the right hand under the left wrist. Release the top of the shoulder, right cheek. And so that right arm is reaching over to the left side. You'll feel a bit of a pull from the left hip and right hip across to the right shoulder. And here, just bring some softness. So just allow your body to be here, to sink a little, to soften a little. If you want a tiny bit more space, you can start to walk that left hand forward just towards the top of your mat. Fingers spread. 3 breaths here. And then start to rebend that left elbow. Bring the hand underneath your shoulder. Start to push into that palm. Sweep the right arm out. And then release that right hand down. Give the shoulders just a little bit of a roll here. Forwards and back. And then we take it to the other side. So right hand plants down. Left arm reaches up and open. Thread the needle. Send that left arm down. Shoulder all the way down. Top of the hand onto the mat. So you're feeling that slight pull on the left side of the low back and hip, and that might come across towards the shoulder. So let the body soften a little, settle here. If it's comfy, like you did on the other side, right hand can just walk forward. So you're kind of looking under the right armpit. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take 2 more breaths. And as you breathe, feel that slight softening, loosening of the lower back. This is also a good one for the upper back. It's one of my favorite ones to do in the morning when you're a little bit stiff. Start to bend that right hand, bring the palm back under the shoulder. Sweep the left arm out from underneath, open it to the ceiling. And then exhale, come to all fours. And then this time, child's pose with top of the feet down, knees go a little bit wider. Sink your hips back to your heels. Let both arms slide out in front. On your inhale, start to lift yourself back to all fours, but keep the hands where they are. So the hands are a little further ahead. Slide the knees in so they come underneath the hips. Tuck the toes. We're going to take a very gentle vinyasa here. So take a moment to just scoop in the belly slightly. Take the shoulders forwards over the wrists. And then start to bend the elbows, lower yourself all the way down onto the ground. Let the toes untuck. Let the forearms slide out in front. So this will lift the chest. And we're in your Sphinx pose here. So take a moment, push into the elbows. You'll notice the chest lifts long through the crown of your head. Squeeze a little in the bum, press your pubic bone down, toes pointing. Push down through elbows. And then let the back soften a little bit here, but keep some slight core engagement, maybe 50%. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can even close the eyes. We're holding it for a couple more breaths. So this is to counter the sort of rounding of the low back by extending it the opposite way. On your next exhale, send the elbows wide. You can let the forehead drop. Slide the hands back under the shoulders. And then come back through all fours and come to another child's pose. Knees wide, toes together. Pause here. Your next inhale, lift yourself up, either to your all fours or a downward facing. So let the toes tuck. Lift the knees, lift the hips. Inhale, lift both heels, bend the knees, look forwards between your hands. You can tiptoe the feet forwards. Come to another ragdoll. So by hanging forwards and letting your head drop, you're kind of decompressing the spine, letting it fall down towards the mat, keeping a little bend in the knees. Release grip of the hands, fingertips to your mat. Inhale, one breath, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees so that you can plant your hands. Leave the right foot there, slide your left toes all the way to the back. Lower your left knee down. We're coming to a lizard. So this is to open the front of your hip, which is often kind of related to tightness in the lower back. So if your right foot was in the middle, just wiggle it to the left side, the right side, right foot to the right. Both hands just inside. You could perhaps walk the left toes back to send the left knee back. That opens a bit more through the front of the hip. Either staying on your hands, you could come onto fists. Lift and lengthen your chest. If it's comfy, untuck that back toe. And then from here, keep that length as you maybe come onto fingertips. And you're going to walk your hands towards the top left corner of your mat. So to get some length through the back. So kind of keeping the hips where they are as the hands walk forward. Imagine the hands are in their downward dog position. So kind of hip shoulder distance. You can let the head drop. You can let the right knee fall a little open to the right side. Breathe in here. This is a little tough. Breathe out. Maybe walk the fingers a little further. Another breath in. And then slowly walk your hands back underneath the shoulders. You can tuck that back toe. We're going to walk the right toes to the center and take a half split. So inhale, start to straighten the front leg as you walk your hips back to that left heel. When you're here, try to lengthen the chest. So hamstring, if you've got tight hamstrings, that can relate to a tight lower back. Try to roll shoulders back, another inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, rebend that front knee, walk the hands forwards. From here, tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, step to a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift both heels, bend the knees, look forward, start to tiptoe feet to the top of your mat. Take your time here, you can keep as much of a bend as you need to in your knees. Ragdoll, fold forward. Perhaps take opposite elbow with opposite hand. Or your non-dominant crossing of the forearms. Just shake the head forwards and back a little. And then release the grip, fingertips to your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant your hands. This time left foot stays, right toe slide to the back. Lower your right knee down. And then we're going to wiggle that left foot outside edge of your mat. Hands both in the middle under shoulders. So your lizard again here. If you want to, you can walk the right knee and toes back a bit to open more through front of right hip. Inhale, lengthen. You could come up onto the fists, get a little more height and length with your chest. And then exhale, walk the hands towards top right corner of your mat. Keep them walking. Maybe that left knee just pops open to the left if that feels okay. Otherwise, keep the foot grounded. Head can drop. Right toes could untuck. Another big breath in. This is tough. Reaching forwards with the arms, back with the hips. Next inhale, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. You can wiggle that left foot back between your hands. Tuck the right toe under. Half split, straighten the front leg. Walk your hands back, lift those left toes, getting hamstring. Walk the hands back a little more. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Exhale, bend your front knee. Let your hands plant. Step back to your downward facing dog. Let your head drop. Maybe walk out the legs. Take a big inhale. And sigh out, let it go. Another deep breath in. Sigh out, release. And then from here, lower both of your knees all the way down onto your mat. And then you can come all the way sitting on your heels. So we're going to come into a supported bridge. So for your supported bridge, if you had some bricks, you can find those bricks. If you had a rolled up blanket or cushion, you can find those. So I'll do the demo with the bricks, but you can use anything else. Try to roll, if you've got blanket or cushion, you can fold the cushion in half just to make sure it's not kind of flattened, so that you get at least this height. Maybe higher, maybe even the two. So supported bridge. You can shuffle forwards on your mat. You can come onto your bum. Feet are at hip distance. Make sure your hips aren't too far away from the heels as you lie yourself down. Arms can come down by the sides. This is one that I love doing. I actually do this probably before most classes that I either teach online or film. So here, just really helps to get that arch of the back kind of lengthening. If you've got 1 or 2 bricks or blankets or cushion, press down through the heels, lift the hips off. Slide that brick underneath so that when you lower the hips down, they just rest on the very kind of back of the pelvis, where your bottom spine vertebrae meets the pelvis. And you might start to feel it already, just sort of this flat surface or a nice cushioned surface lifting the hips and gives you that slight extension of the spine. Your hands can rest wherever is comfy. It might take a little time if you've got something that's squishy, just to get into the position that you're comfy with or you feel the most benefit in. And if you want to, you can take another one. So pushing through the heels, lift the hips, maybe bring in another cushion. So not actually too high, for me at least. So it's really important just to feel into it. You'll be getting benefits even if you're just on a small raised bridge. Let the arms fall out to the side. Breathe in. Breathe out.
then from here, just slide those bricks out from underneath, or cushion or whatever you had supporting your bridge. Place them to one side. Bring your arms out to the side, cactus the arms so elbows are bent. Drop the knees to your right. Bring the knees back and drop them to your left. One more, gentle side to side. Bring the knees back over to the right. And then back over to the left. Bring both knees to center. Bring the hands down, hug the knees in towards your chest. Just give them a little squeeze. Another circle here if that felt good. And then keep the knees there in center. Release the arms back open to cactus. So this will also get your chest open a little. And then drop both knees to your left side so they can fall over to the left. Maybe you want to place a cushion under the knees if it's too far to let the weight of the legs fall. Gaze can be up. Or to really enjoy that twist, you could look over to the right side. One more breath in and breath out. Bring the knees back to center and then let them fall to your right hand side. If you need to shuffle away from the sofa or a wall, just give yourself a bit more space. Drop the knees, perhaps a cushion under the knees or even between the knees. And then if you enjoy that twist or want to take it further, you can look over to your left side and then let your eyes close. And just breathe and be, feeling whatever is coming up for you. Another breath in. And then slowly bring head back, bring knees back. Last pose or penultimate pose, happy baby. So take the knees wide, either hands behind the knees. So you're trying to pull your knees towards said armpit or reach the arms through and try and grab hold of the outside edges of your feet. So your hands are kind of pulling knees towards armpits. So you might notice here that the tailbone will be curled off. Try and press your tailbone, and then if that lifts head and shoulders, try and pull your shoulders back down onto your mat. You could take a slight rock, make it playful in your happy baby, or just enjoying that stillness, feeling your lower back being pressed down onto your mat. And then gently start to release your legs. We're going to come into your final Shavasana. It's going to have a little bit, Shavasana with a twist. We're going to either, if you're near a bed or a sofa or a chair or a wall, if you've got the sofa or chair, you can have kind of this 90-90-90 angle with the legs and rest the back of your calves on the sofa. So mainly that your knees are directly over top the hips, and this will just feel really relaxing for the low back. If you've got a wall, you can turn your bum up towards the wall and lengthen your legs up the wall. Arms in either position can go wherever is comfy, and let the feet relax. So sometimes you might be used to being active or naughty toes. Have good toes, let them point. Heels can rest, arms can open out. And we're going to relax here for an extra minute or so to fully take the weight out of the legs. If you need to have a bit more of a bend in the knees or feet a little wider, adjust to where you're comfy. And then together we take a big breath in. Sigh out, let go. Shavasana. come back to your breath. Take an inhale. Sigh out, let go. Leave the legs where they are and take another breath in. Reach your arms overhead. Interlace the fingers, point the palms away. And then slowly slide the feet off and let your body just roll to one side. Let your spare hand push you up and then come to a seated position. Hands can rest on your knees, sitting tall. And then wherever you are, on your inhale, sweep both arms all the way up, overhead. Just enjoy that length through the body. And exhale, lower your thumbs to your third eye. Thank you and namaste. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. It's a really great one if at the beginning of the day or end of the day you're just feeling niggles in the back and you just want to just loosen and release. Feel free to bring it in, feel free to repeat it a couple times a day. Try the strength for the lower back and then come back to this. It's always a really nice one to kind of follow the strength one with the relaxing one. If you have any questions, give me a shout. My details will be just on the following page. So BeccaYogaUK on Instagram or at gmail.com. And I hope to see you in one of these again soon. Thank you, guys.